Hello, everyone. I'm here back with Eric. He is on his way home from the Canyons 100K, and we're listening to both of us the outdoors and the peacefulness that they have to offer after a busy weekend. Eric, how are you doing?
I'm good. Pretty sleepy and tired, but good.
Yeah, it sounds like you chose a red eye to make your way home and are feeling that now
Yes.
on
Yeah.
top of.
I regret booking that flight, but I got here.
Nice. So I know we talked about you going hard, going for that golden ticket. You ended up 17th male in about 10:24. You slid in right just in front of Anna Cassius. What are your initial thoughts on the race and how it ended up?
I actually had no idea what place I came in. So that's the first time I heard. Yeah, I had a plan, but I just couldn't do it because I had like zero energy from the start of the race for some reason, which I'm not sure why yet. So like tried to run in that front pack for like the first 10K or so. And then like once the first actual climb came in, I just had absolutely no ability to run faster than like a shuffle uphill. And then kind of at that point knew that something was wrong and it was just going to be a really, really long day.
Did you feel any of that? I know you were out there, at least a few days before, so like you probably got the travel part settled out of you. Did you feel any of that on your runs before, or was it just like you showed up on race day and your body was like, nope?
I mean, like my shakeout runs like never felt awesome, but that's not out of the ordinary for me. Like I did one like really small race week workout and that went pretty okay. So yeah, I wasn't totally expecting to feel crummy.
Gotcha. So I guess we'll get deeper into the race itself. So you said you started with the front pack. You didn't have it in you. How did you keep yourself in the game or keep yourself in touch, knowing that your legs weren't just kind of feeling what they needed to get the speed?
I hate of course I like from the beginning I felt like I considered that I should drop out and not finish, but I hate DNFing when I like have no reason to really. Like I just felt bad. Like nothing was injured. Like there's no injury. Like nothing was really in pain besides like just being really tired. So I felt like I didn't have like a valid excuse to not finish the race. And then I hate getting in like the habit of dropping out just when the race isn't going your way. Like I feel like I've got nothing against people who DNF or DNFing myself if like something's actually really wrong. So I felt like it would be like the good thing to just finish the race and tough it out and like get some good practice in running when things are going wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I think we know you have the mental fortitude to do that. And it's just seeing if your legs will cooperate along with you for that journey.
Because there were like a couple of, maybe had like an hour stretch where things started to turn around. And then, so somebody at an aid station told me, they're like, I don't even know where this was. It was somewhere a little bit after 50K. He's like, yeah, dude, you're in 11th. And so then I got like really excited and was able to push through a little bit and had like a really good hour where I passed probably like 3 or 4 people. So then in my head, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in like 6th or 7th place. Like I can still do this. And then I go and I see Dan Jones at like the final crude aid station. He's like, yeah, dude, you're in like 18th or something. So then after that point, I'm like, oh my God, like this is going to be a really, really long final 15 miles or so. And that's exactly what it was.
Yeah. And I mean, we call those last sections flat, but they're not flat. They're flatter maybe, but like you've got some good climbing and descending to do still. So,
Yeah, I mean,
if you're not feeling great.
yeah, there was a big descent in there that I had to walk, and then the climb out of Mammoth Bar, which isn't huge, but it doesn't feel good when you feel pretty terrible.
Yeah, no, it's people have definitely complained about that one for sure.
Yeah.
So did you get to run with any of the guys? I know, some people had great days, but there are plenty of people, of course, as always, who don't have that perfect day. Did you get to run with anybody? Did you have any indication besides someone telling you kind of where you were, how things were going for the rest of the field?
No, I would ask Emma, who's Stephen Kirsch's wife, and Julia, the Terrex manager, like how people were doing. So I was getting some info from the front, but I never really ran with anybody for that long. I ran with Cody Lind for like 20 seconds and heard that Adam was having a rough day and maybe I could catch him, but I didn't. Like, Emily Hoggood just told me Adam was close. I'm like, there's no way it's Adam Peterman. Like, he's not having a bad day. So that would have been nice to catch up to him, because that would have been fun to just like be having a terrible day together. It would at least like make it a little bit better. But no, like I ran with a bunch of people who I don't know, just like people in the race. I can't remember their names, but they were all really nice to me, and it was nice to just like have somebody to run with for a little bit. But no, I didn't run with like any of my friends really.
When your legs don't go the way you want for the day, how did you handle everything else? What did you do nutritionally? Do you still stick to your exact plan just so you can practice? Do you kind of lighten up and be a little bit less stressed about getting it perfect, or how do you approach that?
Yeah, the whole day I still stuck to the plan. Just getting like 90 grams of carbs per hour, my electrolyte capsules, and water. Towards the end, like the last hour, because I was running so much slower than anticipated, I ran out of my gels. But I mean, I was so screwed by that point anyway. Like, it didn't really matter. Yeah, something. I mean, I just added in like more. Like, I had some potato chips every once in a while, or some Coke. Like, once I knew I was toast, like I might as well just have some stuff that tastes a little bit better than like your normal race nutrition, or just like a little bit different. Like, whenever I'm having a disaster of a day, like I like to just have some potato chips or something because they taste good.
Yeah, enjoy like the bounty of the aid station, since
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
gonna be cruising through there anyways.
yeah. Like I guess I could have some peanut M&Ms right now. Like I might as well.
Did you feel like your 90 grams of carbs per hour, your sodium intake, everything was exactly where you wanted it? No adjustments would have been needed if you were able to go harder? Stomach was settled, salt felt good?
Yeah, all that was okay. I had a couple hours at 120 grams, which even felt fine. I have what I mean, I don't want to jinx myself, but I have like a pretty good stomach when it comes to running. Like, I feel like I can kind of just eat as much as I want.
I mean, that's all we can ask for, right?
Yeah, yeah. I've never had any sort of GI problem, except at Leadville in like 2018 or something. But I think that was from the altitude.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's a whole different
Yeah.
story. I guess the rest of your gear, shoes, everything, all of it was good as expected.
Yeah.
Anything you would adjust or change?
Um, Maybe would have tried to cram all the required gear into a belt. I just wear a belt a lot more than a vest. Where like the vest was fine, but I feel like I can move a little bit better on like a runnable course like Canyons if I'm wearing a belt.
Yeah, I know we had talked about you preferring a belt, and
Yeah.
kind of it's kind of the tough thing about these mandatory gear lists is like you've got to fit all this stuff, and then they kind of emphasize the vest, but you're like, does that just mean a receptacle to put the stuff in?
Right. Yeah. I mean, people wore belts, so I guess it was okay. Yeah, I mean, I just don't feel like canyons should have any required gear. Like,
Just like water.
no, I mean, like everybody carries water, but like needing to have like a hooded jacket and whatever, like I guess that the tracker that they put on the elite field would have been tough to have on a belt because that thing was pretty big. But
Yeah, that was a chunky device.
yeah, that thing was huge. But yeah, so I don't know if a belt would have even worked. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I really would have changed anything. Everything.
I know you said you're not quite sure, why the race felt the way it did. Is there anything like so far you feel like you would change then? Um, travel wise, training wise, I know you're like me, you're coming out of winter, so you got a lot of fast work, but it seems like you got some climbing and stuff as well.
A little bit. I mean, I've only run on trails for 1 week in this entire year. So that I did feel pretty uncomfortable on trail. Even like, I mean, the
Okay.
trails on canyons aren't insanely technical, but like they are actual trails. Um, but that's just not really something I can like change, unfortunately. Um, it's just where I live is not the greatest place to train for ultra marathons that are in April.
Yeah, I've definitely stopped doing those like March, April ultras if I can help it because it
Yeah,
just is such a pain in the ass
yeah.
to train for.
Maybe like if I were to do it again, maybe try to get like another training camp in California or something. But yeah, I don't really think that there was much that I could do to keep that from happening this year.
I know some of the single track boys have joked and pushed for you moving to Salt Lake. Is that is that the answer?
I mean, it's not like honestly, yeah, it probably is the answer. Um, and it's not out of the question for that to happen. So we'll
Yeah.
see where I am this time next year.
See if we can convince Joanna.
Yeah, I think she's on board. It's just all the logistics of moving across the country is a little overwhelming. And yeah, I mean, finding her a job and then finding a place we can afford to live
Yeah.
is always so stressful.
Yeah, I feel like the more west you go, the more expensive it gets. And
Yeah, I mean, Vermont's not cheap, but we found like the one cheap apartment.
well, I can understand that hesitance. But it sounds like maybe it's something you guys would be excited about and interested in.
Yeah, and maybe it's something we do while I run professionally, like
Yeah,
the yeah forever thing.
yeah, a couple years while you're really trying to like get
Yeah,
after it. And
right. Yeah, I think it would help a lot. Um, and then who knows? Maybe I'm like Max King and can be extremely good into my 40s. But I feel like
I
that's
mean, did you see he just like won a steeple race?
yes. He ran like 9 flat. It was
Yeah,
just
it
like
was like 9:02. It was insane.
yeah. I mean, like I wasn't very good in college, but like my 3K PR without barriers was like 8:57. So I mean, I know he was like a world class steepler at one point and has run a lot faster than that, but that was pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, that's some serious longevity.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah. All right. Well, so you feel like maybe training differently could help in these early season races? Do you feel like anything else, life stress, nutrition, the week before, travel
I
could
don't
could
know.
help, or
I'm
just
having
kind of a
trouble.
mystery right now?
Yeah, it's a bit of a mystery. I had pretty like my ferritin levels were like pretty low in the fall. So like I was borderline anemic, which I think is like relatively rare for a guy. in
Yeah.
the fall, and I haven't had it tested since then. So right after I'm done with this, I'm going to get some blood tests done while I'm in New Jersey, just because it's so much easier than doing things in Vermont. And maybe that'll point to something. Like, that would be awesome if it's like, here, just do this, and then maybe you'll feel a little bit better. But I feel like it's rarely that easy to figure out what the problem is.
Do you feel like in winter you guys deal with like the vitamin D deficiency issue as well?
Yeah, probably. I mean, the sun doesn't come out for like weeks at a time, so
Yeah.
that could I mean, that's definitely a realistic thing that could be. But yeah, so who knows? I'll figure it out.
Yeah. And then besides being jet lagged, how do your legs and everything, how are you feeling?
I'm coming around pretty good. Like, I was in San Francisco yesterday with Petter and Julia. We were just walking around a bit, and Petter and I both felt like we were starting to come around, which is good. Like, I feel like I'm a appropriate level of sore from 100K, so nothing too crazy. Like, I've been going for walks and stuff.
Yeah, good active recovery. Do you have kind of a plan moving forward of getting back to training?
Yeah, I think after 100K, I usually take at least a week off. This one, maybe I'll take a little bit longer off running, but incorporate biking starting next week, and just like try to enjoy the spring in Vermont. Like, I love going for bike rides in Vermont, and I feel like once I really get into like actual running training, I just don't have that much time to get out on the bike. So probably try to do some things that like I just enjoy doing.
Yeah, I think that's one of the best parts of recovery is just like kind of carefree exercise.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. And then I'm not signed up for anything until CCC. So, well, I'm signed up for Quebec Mega Trail, but I don't think I want to do another 80K plus race right now. So we'll see.
Yeah, just kind of focusing on CCC and maybe a long build with some kind of training races into it.
Yeah, that if I could do that, that would be ideal. I mean, there's a chance I try to get into Broken Arrow, but who knows? Because I'm gonna pace Petter at States, so
Gotcha.
I'll be out in California. So Broken Arrow is so much fun. It might be nice to see if I can even get into that at this point.
Yeah, well, we'd definitely love to have you back, and it's such a fun week with those two and opposing weekends.
Yeah, I'll be there regardless. Watching Broken Arrow and pacing States, or running Broken Arrow and pacing States. So we'll see.
Well, awesome, Eric. I'm gonna let you get to that blood test, and hopefully it gives you some answers to move forward with. But thanks for catching up post race.
Yeah, thank you.